G'day guys and welcome back to AdosTheGreat YouTube channel. So guys, in today's video I am going to be discussing a potential 18-man squad for the 18th NRL team. I know it's not technically confirmed yet, but if the Papua New Guinea Hunters are to get an NRL team, in my honest opinion, this is the lineup. So let's have a look at it, guys. I'll pop it on screen for you now. Alright, now let's talk about each of these players. Obviously, you can see that there are a lot of Papua New Guinea international players here, as well as a bunch of other NRL players. So, let's start things off with the fullback, Keanu Kinney from the Gold Coast Titans. Now, the Titans have AJ Brimson, they've got Jaden Campbell. They don't really need another fullback, and I don't see Kinney really getting that much of an opportunity with both Brimson and Campbell at the Titans. So I do think that if the 18th NRL team came into it, I think Kinney would be an amazing player to target for the fullback position, and I think it'd be stupid not to go after him. The wingers, I've gone with Robert Derby, obviously a Papua New Guinea international, not getting all that much experience in the NRL at the moment, playing more in reserve grade, and I think he would definitely fit in well with the Hunters if they were to get an NRL side. On the other wing, I've gone with Blake Wilson from the Canterbury Bankstown Bulldogs. The Bulldogs have a plethora of backs. They've got a lot of players that can cover different positions in the backs. And I do think Blake Wilson will actually miss out this season, or going forward anyway. I think they're going to probably go down the route of like a Gerald Skelton or players similar to that. So I think Blake Wilson would be an awesome target for a 18th NRL side. And bringing him over could be a really good pickup there, because I do think he's a very talented player. In the centres, I've obviously gone with Justin Olam. Look, it speaks for itself. I think he could potentially be captain material, or at least in the leadership group. I know that there's a few issues with him and Melbourne Storm at the moment, but when he's on, he is one of the best centres in the comp. So I do think that if there is an 18th team, or there will be, but when there is an 18th team, I think Justin Olam should definitely be a player that is targeted. The other centre I've gone with is Kale Iro from the Cronulla Sharks. Really not getting much game time over there. Another player that they could look at is Cade Dykes as well. I think that's his name. But yeah, I definitely go for Iro. I think he would be a perfect building block for a new team in the NRL. Now, obviously, there are some players that have represented Papua New Guinea, like Alex Johnston and Xavier Coates, that I haven't added. I just don't really think that they would leave their current teams. AJ loves it, the Rabbitohs. They literally had a petition to basically force the club into making sure AJ stayed with them, so I don't think he would leave. Even though he loves Papua New Guinea, I don't think he would leave the Rabbitohs. Similar goes for Xavier Coates. I do think he is probably more of a chance, and if he was to sign with the Hunters, if they were to get an NRL side, I'd have him in over probably Wilson, to be honest, because I do rate Derby quite high. The halves, I've gone with Lachlan Lamb and Jonah Pizzette. Obviously, Kyle Laybutt is another player you could have in the halves. I've named him as my 18th man, but I just think Pizzette is an incredible talent. He needs to be in an NRL side somewhere, and as a building piece for an 18th team, I think he would be a perfect number 7. Lachlan Lamb, playing over in the Super League, I do not have a shadow of doubt in my mind that if there was a Papua New Guinea team in the NRL, he would ask for an immediate release. That goes for several of these players as well. So Lachie Lamb, I would say, would come back and play in Australia or Papua New Guinea for the Hunters if they were to get a team. All right, the front rowers, I've gone with Braden Hamlin-Uele. Obviously, with the acquisition of Addin Fanua Blake at Cronulla, it definitely opens up an exit for probably one forward, and if that's not Toby Rudolph or Royce Hunt, I think Hamlin Uele is probably on the chopping block, to be honest. And if the 18th team could pick him up, I think that'd be a really, really good pickup there. Terrell May is my next one. I do hear rumours that he is likely to sign with the Bulldogs. However, if he doesn't, I think the 18th team should definitely pick him up. He is one of the most exciting young forwards to watch in the NRL. Just a workhorse, gets the hard stuff done, and I think he could be a huge building piece for an 18th team. All right, a dummy half, we've obviously got Epape. Very, very great, good player. Playing over in the Super League at the moment. Definitely deserves to be playing in the NRL. He is elite, and I think that he definitely could get a starting 9 spot at the 18th team in the NRL. All right, in the second row, I'll go with Dan Russell, another Papua New Guinea international. Definitely think that he would slot straight into this side, as would Helam Lukey. Playing for the North Queensland Cowboys, he's definitely locked in as their second rower, but with Jeremiah Nanai, Luciano Leilua, and Fini Fuiaki, is getting a bit of a logjam for the back row position there. So I think Helam Lukey, just making sure the mic's on there, Helam Lukey could definitely slot in to the 18th team. And then finally at lock, I've gone with Jack DeBellin. Again, another player that I could see jumping ship to play for the Hunters if they were to get that license. So yeah, that is my 13. Kinney, Derby, Olam, Iru, Wilson, Lamb, Pizzette, Hamlin Uele, Epape, Terrell May, Dan Russell, Helam Lukey, and Jack DeBellin. Off the bench, I've gone with Beryl, a dummy half from Cronulla. The Sharks have a lot of hooker depth. You could play Cam McInnes there. You've obviously got, there's another young one coming through. I can't remember his name. But you obviously got Brayley there as well. Like, Beryl, I think he needs a shot in the NRL, and I think that an 18th team could definitely open the door for him. Another one is Sean Bloor. Ironically, Bloor and Olam, there's talks that they're going to be involved with a player swap. So this is very ironic that they've ended up on the same team here. But I definitely think that both these players could 100% fit in perfectly with an 18th team. The next player is a Papua New Guinea international, Kipinius. Very, very tough front rower. He gets the hard work done. And yeah, look, I think he could definitely slot in 100% off the bench. I think he would be an amazing acquisition for the team. You could then obviously play Sean Bloor in the number 13 and move DeBellin into the front row if obviously Hamlin Uele and Terrell May will need a rest at some point. So that is something you could do there. But another player that can slot straight into the middle is Jacob Alec from the Gold Coast Titans. Absolute weapon of a player. I think that he deserves more in the NRL, and I think that the 18th team would be a perfect spot for him. So guys, that is pretty much going to wrap it up for me on this one. Thought it'd be something different, thought it'd be a good little topic to talk about. I'd love to hear your opinions on this though, guys. I know there's going to be a lot of you that disagree with some of these picks. There's going to be a lot of you that agree with me. So if you do agree, let me know in the comments, and let me know if you don't, why you don't agree. But that is all for me today, guys. Thank you all so much for tuning in. And as always, my friends, I will see you in the next one. Thanks, guys.